What's going on, everybody? It's T Reaper, and I'm back with another video. I was actually going to wait for Wednesday to do this, because I'm gonna be on Beastfire tomorrow. But I just want to give my live impressions to all the E3s. So that includes Sony, and all I gotta say is, oh my lord, how the hell did you honestly take that L? I just don't understand that. Microsoft, got a lot of opinions on that, and I'm gonna be critical because it's gonna be absolutely hilarious. And we got Ubisoft, EA, I love that Battlefront, and oh my lord, Bethesda. I didn't actually think something was going to be worse than Bethesda, to be perfectly honest. I honestly thought Sony was actually going to be better, but Sony got only one game for fucking 2017. That's so bullshit. That's so bullshit. At least all Bethesda shit was in 2017. Yo, Sony and ponies everywhere. You need to take that L ASAP, like now, because that was just horrible. And then the whole thing was just funny as all hell, because you have Microsoft legitimately say 42 games on screen. Then only about a quarter of them, well, actually like five of them were all AAAs, and the rest were all indies. Yo, Sony, how do you get beat by indies? I just don't understand this. I mean, you got Spider-Man on there, you got God of War on there, and they all come out in 2018. But I will say this for everybody who watches, Sony probably will actually take that win in 2018. Just because they have God of War and Spider-Man, automatically there. Maybe Days Gone, and honestly, maybe Detroit. But I gotta say, I mean, the Xbox X was beautiful, but it's actually not approved by the FCC yet, so I can't freaking pre-order that bullshit. That is so bullshit. I can't pre-order it yet. So not only did Phil Spencer give us the price, which is $4.99, and people everywhere, I don't care if you're a bot, I don't care if you're a casual, I don't give a shit who the fuck you are. If you start complaining about this price, I'm going to legitimately respond to you in your comment section. Please go get a job. Like, seriously. $4.99 for what we're getting with the Xbox X, totally understandable and totally tolerable. I can get that. But it's actually kind of funny because Phil Spencer gave us the price, he gave us the release date, but it wasn't approved by the FCC, so you actually can't actually go to the store and get it yet. So it's like he showed us a piece of the magic, and it's actually at E3, so that's even funnier. So they're actually showcasing a non-approved product, which is way to go, Microsoft. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say that these E3s weren't good, because each of them were good in their own right. Each of them had one game that I took it away from and said, that saves it from a massive L. I think for Bethesda, it was that Wolfenstein game. I can't wait to pre-order that later this week. For EA, it was Battlefront. I already have that pre-ordered. I can't wait for that. For Microsoft, I gotta say 3 games saved the show for that for me, for Microsoft. It was Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed Origins, and I know these are multiplats, and Crackdown 3. Now, I'm probably going to get Crackdown 3, but everything else, it was just like, oh, somebody shoot me. But I loved how it was so diverse, but it was actually kind of funny seeing everybody's damage control. Or at least, the damage control on Twitter, everybody's saying, yo, Sony won. How did Sony win E3? I gotta ask this question to all you ponies. How did they win E3? They had an interesting show. Most of them were multiplats, and only the DLC comes out in 2017 for Uncharted. Everything else is a 2018 product. That's just so bullshit. And that doesn't even include the VR, which is even funnier. So Microsoft had the niche with the indies on the screen, and Sony had the VR presentation. So it was funny. But at least Sony had the balls to say this is PlayStation VR, not and then Microsoft didn't have the balls to say, oh, this is an indie title. They just mashed it up with a whole bunch of games. But all in all, I gotta say it was quite funny. And then Ubisoft. The only thing I honestly take away from Ubisoft is probably Far Cry 5. I already have that pre-ordered. And Assassin's Creed again, but I have to get that pre-ordered. I think I'm gonna get the gold edition, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's like, it was just really nice. But yeah, it was funny because I've been glued to YouTube all day, and that's actually where I watched all the conferences. I didn't even go to Mixer. I like legitly just stuck straight in onto YouTube, and I just watched IGN the entire time. But it was funny because like I take away from these conferences, like it was the one thing that I took away from Ubisoft was that that girl that's normally there, she wasn't there this year, which was kind of interesting. Now I haven't actually watched any of the Xbox. This is kind of funny coming straight from me anyway, but I actually haven't watched any of the Xbox Live stuff yet. But they're basically probably going to rehash most of the stuff that I already saw on the stage, and that doesn't really interest me that much. But I am definitely going to watch the Lively show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I'll definitely catch those coverage, and then later on the week I'll come back again and tell you what I honestly think. But yeah, wow, like how does Sony lose? I just don't get it. Like that's just so unfair. Like it's just so unrealistically fair. Like they had all these games, they had all the light ups, and they all come out in 2018. I'm like, yo, what? Come on, man. I mean, I know bots are not supposed to root for Sony, but Microsoft, like legitly. I mean, and this is the funny thing. Everybody's got to understand this because this is legitly true. Phil Spencer did not lie. He did not lie. He cheated, but he did not lie. So Phil Spencer legitly said we're going to have more exclusives in 2017. We're going to show more exclusives, all that fun jazz. And that was actually true. They did show more. However, this is where he cheated. He basically didn't say which type of games it was. So he just showed all indies and like 5, AAA titles, and that was it. But, he did show us what he wanted. So he showed us Crackdown. He showed us State of Decay 2. He showed us Sea of Thieves. But, in all reality, he kind of cheated. He's like, yeah, we're going to have so many more exclusives this coming year. We're going to show so much more content. And then they all turn out to be indies. And I was like, what the fuck? Come on, Microsoft. Like, seriously? That's how you're going to trick us? I mean, I know Phil has a way with words, but damn, Phil Spencer, you gotta go into like comedy because that was comical. And then then you expect Sony to come back and give a response because there was all these different leaks that they might show a new portable. Everybody was screaming that PlayStation 5. You definitely didn't get that PlayStation 5, ponies. Yeah, you're gonna have to take that wonderful L on that PlayStation 5 appearing. Yeah, that didn't happen. But that was actually kind of funny. What did appear on PlayStation was God of War, Detroit, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man actually looked pretty good. I got to admit, that actually looked pretty good. But it's still all 2018 titles regardless. So, regardless of the fact that Sony takes that L in this year in 2017, they're going to take that wonderful W, I think, in 2018. Yeah, I mean, I take away from Microsoft's press conference, I take away from with the Xbox X. Not a bad name. I like that name. All in all, I think E3 was pretty dope this year. Nintendo actually does have something a little bit tomorrow, but I heard all they're going to show is Mario Odyssey, which doesn't really interest me, and I don't really care about Nintendo. So it's it was all things. But as I rack them up in line, I gotta say Sony was definitely probably the worst. They take that massive L for that. Next up was Bethesda. That was the second worst. Then Ubisoft was like then EA, and then Microsoft. But I gotta say Microsoft took that win, but they took it with indies. Like, how do you take that win with indies? I just don't understand it. That's just so unfair. And then you're gonna have a whole bunch of people quoting me saying, all that those weren't indies, they were AA. I'm gonna be like, no, man. If it looks like an indie and it has no face, that's definitely an indie. I'm sorry, But Phil Spencer is legitly a trickster. Like, he should take over from Mark Hamill. He legitly tricked everybody. He said, "Yeah, we're gonna have all these exclusives at E3." Not to mention, didn't bother to mention they were mostly all of them were indies, like related. That's funny. That's just funny. And then you have a whole bunch of people complaining, which is duly so. I give you the complaints. But you can't technically say he lied because he didn't. He honestly, legitimately told the truth. He just twisted it, and that's what I think is actually kind of funny. And most of the stuff that Microsoft, I want that Xbox X. I really do. And that $499 price point, again, not that bad. I know a lot of people wanted that $3.99, but what was also funny is when I was watching IGN, everybody on the everybody, like, when they were interviewing like live people at E3, everybody was like, "Yo, I'm not happy with that price point. Yo, I'm not happy with that price point." I really wanted to see Halo 6, and I shout out to that fan man, because I agree with you. If Halo 6 had been there, I think it would have been a even better show. But we can't always have Halo and Gears every year. So, for the most part, Microsoft won this E3 through presentation and the console reveal, and with indies. Like, how? Like, I just don't understand it. It's just that just amazes me, and it's just like totally insane. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't wait for Wednesday to get my view out there. But it's funny. Like, I think Sony really has to take that L, and the only thing they have is the Uncharted DLC. Like, that's the only thing. Then you got Titanfall Princess mouthing off on Twitter saying, "Yo, Sony won." I'm like, "Yo, I got a question for Titanfall Princess. Yo, bitch, how the fuck does Sony win with nothing whatsoever in 2017?" I gotta ask that question. I really gotta ask that question, because I'm really kind of curious how they went with nothing to actually show for 2017. They definitely taken a W for 2018. But then again, people can argue most of the stuff that Microsoft also premiered that was indie related was like, and somewhat related, like Metro and Anthem were 2018 slotted too. So maybe 2018 is like the year we have to look forward to, because this year, legitly, I can count them all on my hands, like Destiny 2, Assassin's Creed, freaking Shadow of War, Battlefront 2, Call of Duty, and Crackdown 3. The other thing that Microsoft did show was Forza Motorsport 7. I'm not a big racer fan, so I actually don't care about that. But they did show that, so that's what they opened with, and they opened with a nice Porsche on the stage, which was pretty dope. But all in all, it was it was funny. I mean, Microsoft wins with indies, and then in Bang Bang, which is the funniest part of the entire day. You have the ponies in my video. Shout out to everybody who chose to watch that video. Shout out to Hebot. He did a great job with those vocals, and it was an awesome video to make right before E3. But I kind of feel that it needs a sequel now. Now that Sony takes that massive L, you take that massive L for E3 2017, and you get beat by Microsoft with indies. That's just so thing. And the other thing that they did show was OG Xbox backwards compatible. I know a lot of people were, excited for this. Personally, I'm not a big fan of backwards compatible. I'm not gonna lie. I do use it sometimes, but OG wise, I mean, with Halo on the Master Chief Collection, I mean, I would like to see OG Fable, the original Return to Castle Wolfenstein, which was pretty dope when I was a kid, and maybe the original Splinter Cell. And they already showed Crimson Skies, and that feature comes out later this year. So it's gonna be pretty dope. But all in all, I mean, mostly in like the interesting games all come out in 2018 from what I took away from E3. But most of the stuff this year is mostly multi-plat related, like COD and Assassin's Creed and Shadow of War and stuff like that. But I'm looking forward, really looking forward to playing that Assassin's Creed. I'm gonna go pick it up like either tomorrow or like on Friday. And Shadow of War, definitely. I'm kind of curious now that I know my lineup for this year. I'm kind of curious which game is gonna take me the longest to beat. If you guys want to predict which one of those games I named, and I'll name them again just for Destiny 2. I'm definitely not doing that in 24 hours. There's no way in hell. There's Assassin's Creed, I'm predicting like a 30-hour run, and Shadow of War, which looks larger than Shadow of Mordor, so I think maybe about maybe less than 40 hours. And then we have Call of Duty, which is probably going to be like less than an 8-hour run, and then Battlefront 2, and with that story, maybe like 7.5, and then with Crackdown 3, which is I'm only honestly interested in just for the story and just because it's on Xbox X. Like, I don't know. I've actually never actually touched a Crackdown game, so I actually can't really dictate how long it would be. But those are the titles I'm looking forward to this year, and Killing Frenzy, nice. But I will be back again for with a group of people on Wednesday. I'm hoping my new friend Rotisserie Jones, shout out to him, will join us on Wednesday. Hopefully Sooner and Rambo King and Halo will be around, so we can all have a nice group discussion on everything we saw at E3. But tomorrow I'll be on Beastfire, so you guys can catch me on there. But yeah, that's funny, guys. Sony take that massive L to indies. That's quite funny. Shout out to erock81502, by the way. And shout out to the DX Mansion. You know, Xbox takes that win for 2017 with just 2 games. With just 2 AAA games, they beat Sony. That is like so honestly really sad. And the console release, we can't forget that. And the Xbox X console release, which is going to, you know, legitimately work with all your accessories, you know, true 4K, all that fun jazz. Personally, even though it's going to support that 1080p support, I really wouldn't suggest you buy this $500 console unless you have a 4K TV. So I'm just going to say that one more time. But anyway, thanks everybody so much for watching. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. And yeah, E3. God, that's so much funny as hell. All right, this is Sea Reaper. Have a wonderful day. And this is only partial gameplay. So I'll have a little bit more waiting for us on Wednesday. Have a good day. Have a good night, everybody. Xbox rules. We live in the dark to serve the green. We are Xbox. See ya.